friends, welcome back to Food Prep Guide. It is mid-August at the time of filming this video, and hopefully we'll be able to get it out pretty quickly because it's kind of time sensitive. We're going to be talking about the fall garden seeds, some of my absolute favorite varieties, and some new varieties that I'm trying this year based on some pretty extensive research. I try to do some research on new varieties every winter, always trying to find the best type of seeds for my area so that I can improve my garden year after year. Now the fall garden, it's kind of tricky when we're sharing tips and seed ideas because we all live in all different areas, all different climates. So just disclaimer, be sure to research your growing zone and make sure you know what you can and can't grow during this time of year. For some of us, you are going to be entering spring. So, but the fall crops, these crops I'm going to be talking about today is cool weather crops that either thrive in cool weather and or even benefit from a little bit of frost, like carrots and Brussels sprouts actually benefit from a little bit of frost. They make them a lot sweeter. So cold variety vegetables that we're going to be discussing today. I didn't count them. I don't know how many I have here, but I do know that these are going in my garden this year, and probably more than half of them are ones that I have been growing for years, and I know that they are tried and true varieties. Okay, let's jump right into it. If you would like help planning a productive garden, scroll down to the description box of this video and click this link for a free garden printable. We calculated quantities for a year's supply of the most common garden vegetables and organized them into a neat chart to help you plan. We'll send it straight to your inbox. If you're new here, we invite you to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our upcoming tutorials on gardening and food preservation, food storage, and more. Number one is I do a second round of cabbage in the fall. This is my tested, tried and true variety. For me here in the South, I can't grow a cabbage that needs to have a super long days to maturity because it just gets too hot in the spring too quickly. And then too cold in the winter too quickly, if that makes sense. So the Golden Acre cabbage is an early maturing variety, but it still produces a good sized head. So it's a kind of a good compromise between not having to grow only Napa cabbage that grows pretty quickly, which is an option for you if you have a very short growing zone. You might want to stick to the Napa style cabbages, but this one has a pretty short days to maturity. While still being great for things like coleslaw and sauerkraut and that kind of thing. So I am trying a new to me variety this year based on some research that I did. It's the Cheers cabbage by Haas. I'm not sure, I don't think it's one that only Haas produces. I'm not sure about that though, but the reason why I am trying this one this year is because it is supposed to be especially heat tolerant and frost tolerant. Which is kind of great for that in-between season, because even though we're talking about fall crops and cool weather crops that can even go into the winter with some frost cloth cover, they have to be started in August when it is still like 100 degrees where I am. So it can be kind of tricky to get that fall and winter going when we're kind of in that awkward transition where we know cool weather is coming, but it's still like swelteringly hot outside when it's time to start seeds. So that's why I'm trying the Cheers cabbage this year. Next is my tried and true carrots, and that is the red core Chantenay carrot. I love Baker Creek. Y'all know, if you are a friend of Food Prep Guides, you know that I absolutely love Baker Creek. Their website is rareseeds.com. They are heirloom only seed company. And this year I have branched out into hybrid seeds, and I'm so glad that I did. I have had fantastic results, but I still love my good heirlooms. I do seed save a whole lot, and of course you can't seed save from hybrid plants. So if you want to seed save, you're going to have to grow heirlooms, and this red core Chantenay is my absolute favorite heirloom carrot. We did actually not a side-by-side, we did 4 side-by-sides test last year with carrots, and this one outperformed all the others that we tried. New Carota was a second runner-up, but this one even still outshone the New Carota carrot. I am trying again a new to me variety this year based on research, and that is the Envy carrot from Haas. The reason why I'm trying this one this year is because it is supposed to be able to break through heavy soil. I'm in the South where we have heavy red clay, And in the past, I've only grown carrots in my raised beds where I can control how loose the soil is. I will not ever try to grow, well, I am going to be this year. But I have in the past, I have signed off, written off growing carrots in the ground because it's just too hard here. But I have heard that the envy carrot can push through clay. So I am still going to be growing the vast majority of my carrots in my raised beds because I know that that's where they perform best. But I am going to put these in the ground and see how they do. Okay, next is going to be cauliflower. My husband absolutely loves cauliflower, and in fact, he texted me just this morning and said, "Have you put my cauliflower in the ground yet?" Because it's that time of year, time to get them started. So I am trying the Minuteman cauliflower. I'm trying a hybrid variety this year. I have only grown heirloom in the past, and they have not been productive for me. It's just something wipes them out, something eats them, or the heads are just super tiny, and it just makes it not worth it. This is supposed to thrive here in the South, so that's what I'm going with. Again, in the same family, broccoli. I'm trying this variety for all the same reasons that I mentioned for the cauliflower. It is Green Magic Broccoli by Haas. And it is, again, it's supposed to be very prolific here in the South, and it can handle some of that heat in the early August and still be able to carry me through the late fall when temperatures are getting really close to frost. So I'm excited to try that one. I'm really excited for this one. We love Brussels sprouts, and 2 years ago we figured out that if we shredded the Brussels sprout and then dehydrated them, that they rehydrated and sauteed beautifully. And that has kept me from not growing Brussels sprouts in the past because it felt like only a fresh eating food, and therefore I could only grow enough that we could eat fresh, which isn't a ton. But now that I can preserve them, I have a tried and true way to preserve them that I know that we love. I am going to be growing these at a much higher volume this year. I'm doing the Jade Cross Brussels sprouts. It'll be my first year trying these because the last year I tried, there was a Baker Creek one, and it was okay, but I didn't get much production on them. So I'm going hybrid this year and trying, we'll see how that goes. Next is collard greens. Collard greens and mustard greens are something that I tested out this year. It's something that my family doesn't automatically love, like right off the bat, but I thought, you know what, I'm going to try to grow it in the spring on a small scale and try different ways of cooking them so that I can figure out, can I train all of our taste buds to enjoy it, or at least eat it without too much complaint, because it is so nutritious. And we were able to. So the way that I have been cooking them up is I will saute them in some lard that we canned up this past fall, and season it heavily with a garlic and herb seasoning. And everyone enjoyed them that way. It's not going to be their favorite. It's not something that they beg me for, to be completely honest, but it's something that I know I can put on my shelf and have a very nutrient-dense option that my family will eat. So collard greens and mustard greens, they're same family, mustard greens. So the collard greens I'm doing is flash collard. First year I'm trying those. Again, supposed to be very prolific and good in our climate. This is a tried and true variety. This is the Southern Giant Curl. I know for a fact that this grows phenomenally well in my area with no fertilization, no tending. I never weeded the bed. I mean, I didn't do anything. If you see me looking off screen, I'm multitasking. Y'all know I love to multitask. I've got a canner going here, but just off screen. I gotta keep an eye on it. But anyway, Southern Giant Curl mustard and flash collard greens. I'm growing those in much larger quantities this year now that I know a way to cook it my family enjoys. Okay, some new to me spinach and Swiss chard. Now I've grown spinach and Swiss chard, but I haven't found a variety that's like, okay, this is the only thing I need to grow from now on. Until I find something that is extremely prolific and very easy, like not finicky, like it doesn't require a whole lot of fertilizing and amending and care, I could pretty much plant it and forget it. That's the type of variety that I'm going to stick with, and I haven't found one of those yet for Swiss chard and spinach, but these I'm trying this year. I found a new company called Texas Tested Seeds. Texas tested seeds, and what they specialize in is heat tolerant crops that thrive in the South. So if you happen to live in the South like me, you might want to check them out. I can't vouch for them. It's my first year trying them. But I am growing the CSF special selection Swiss chard. It's a rainbow variety, all different colors. And then I'm going with the fiddler spinach. I don't know if you can see those leaves. Yeah. The reason why I picked this one is because the leaves, the way that they grew, it just seems like it's going to be super easy to cut and come again. And so that's how I like to grow my spinach. It's cut and come again style. And I'm going with the fiddler spinach, both for heat tolerance and because they just seem like they would really serve me well for the cut and come again method. Okay, last but not least is kale. This is my tried and true variety. This is one that I don't have to research kale anymore. I know this is the one that I need to grow. Dwarf blue curled. It takes me all the way from spring through winter. I mean, this stuff almost never stops. I did go ahead and pull it from my garden, not because it wasn't producing, but because the insect pressure was just too much and I didn't want to deal with the insects anymore. And it was just in an area where I couldn't really get a really quick covering on it. So I just called it quits, but this stuff just produces phenomenally well for me. Dwarf blue curled Scotch kale. If you live in the South, I highly recommend this variety. Okay, y'all, I hope that was helpful to you. I hope you got some good ideas, especially for those of you who live in the South. I did a lot of research on trying to find some heat-tested varieties that's pretty prolific, but we'll see. I do have some, like I said, that I'm trying for the first year, so we'll see how that goes. And I'm really excited to figure out and just see what the fall and winter garden does for me this year. That's all for today, and we'll see you next time. Bye!